Hello, this is Carolyn with Carolyn's Paper Therapy, and today I'm starting to work on the junk mail envelopes that I showed you in the first video, the junk mail envelopes with windows in them, and how I'm going to use those for pockets and flip outs and that sort of thing in the journal. I have 5 here that we're going to work on, and I think I'm going to have to show you kind of step by step what I do. And so the first thing I wanted to show you is, the first thing I wanted to do was decide on the actual journal card to go inside the pocket. So I'll show you how I did that. I printed out 2 sheets with kind of a collage on them. This one had the beach scenes with the children, and the other one I used was the lady up in the corner with the big hat and all the strawberry scenes. And I did 4 of them with that one, and one of them, as you can see, I cut out on this. And what I did to determine what I wanted to use was pick my envelope that I wanted to use. This one I've decided is gonna this card will slide in from the side, and I just laid the envelope, opened up the envelope if I could, and then laid it down on the picture until I found the picture that I wanted to show through the window. When I had that laid down, I traced around it with a pencil, cut it out, and then of course it has to be trimmed down so that it will slide down inside the envelope once this is all glued together. So I just kept trimming it and making sure that I was going to end up with all my little children in the picture of the envelope. Okay, that's the first one I did. The second one was this girl was up in the corner on one of the sheets, and this envelope I designed to flip out. It's a larger envelope than your standard. It's one of the larger ones that come in the mail. Mine come with like financial stuff in them and all. So I got her figured out where I wanted her, and then I cut out the card. And so this will flip out, and I haven't decided yet whether she'll probably come out the side. So I trimmed it, and I may have to trim it some more, but I trimmed it so that it would slide in from the side, and the strawberries and the girl with the hat would show. And I didn't mention, but on the back, I printed on the back this pattern, and I'm gonna have to trim that little top part off, but it's at a size where when she is inserted in here, she will show. And of course, depending on what I have inside here will determine how I decorate the outside. That's my second one. The third one, on the sheet that had her on it, to the left of her was a butterfly and roses. So we kind of got away from the strawberries with the red in them. We got more back to the peachy colors. And so I cut this out so that the rose and the butterfly would show. This one is going to open from the side. And so I have cut this down so that it slides in the side here. And you see what I want you to see. Again, I printed on the back, and I can see I've got to trim off this top part. I guess it would have been good to do that before I started, but anyway, this is going to be fine. It doesn't have to be the perfect size, just not too big. It has to slide in and out easily. So there's that one. And the next one, I chose the bicycle, and I wanted to do the picnic basket, but I'll do that on something else. I got the picnic basket and the glasses and the bicycle, so you get kind of the picnic scene feel. This one is going to open at the top, so this will slide out this way. The next one was at the bottom right, or at the bottom left on that collage. I had the cupcake and the picture of the strawberries. And so we will, cover this and do some decorations on it that include the strawberries. This is designed to flip up and open from the side. So this will slide in this way. So now that I've showed you this, you can tell where I'm going with this. And of course there's a lot of little edges here and things that I have to kind of clean up so that everything slides in properly. When we do this, when we cover this envelope, we'll cover it. We'll make sure all the little seams and things are fixed perfect. And then I'll put a notch in the top so that it's easy to grab this to come out. So now I'll go off and work a little bit more and I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so the next step was to figure out the background that I want inside the window whenever I pull the journal card out. So I went through and I chose the background that I wanted, and then I measured and glued it in. And these, I just printed them on cardstock. It can be any kind of paper or whatever you want to use. I just printed these that went with our papers. And so all I'll do with this is line it up and trace around the envelope. And cut it out. Then I'll take my picture out and slide this right down in here. This will cover this back side, and then I'm going to go and trim off anything that's sticking out. This could be done after you glue it too if you wanted to wait. Now this piece here, this one opens up all the way open. The others just open on the two sides. And so what I did was I turned it over once I got the paper where I wanted it. And then I just pried up the two sides that I could, because it doesn't matter if it's glued in on every side when you've already got that corner down there glued. On this one though, I'm going to go ahead and glue this side. And then just put a little glue around and close it up. So you've got your background glued in, and these are going to go in this side. So then this will just slide in like so. And then when you take it out, it's going to have a background in behind it. And I'll show you the others I've already done. This one here is the girl with the strawberries. And this is our butterfly and flowers. This is our bicycle picnic. I picked up on the blue there. And then this one is our just a minute. got some glue where it didn't belong. That's got to be careful of that. Make sure your envelope is still open to slide in. And that will slide in there with the polka dots behind it. I tried to coordinate whatever went behind it with what was on in the picture. And we'll do that same thing all the way. We'll use papers that coordinate with what I've used in the opening and in the background as we decorate the sides of this. So now I'm going to go off and decorate the sides, and I'll be right back. Okay, the next step was to actually take your envelope and make sure that you glue down whatever edge that you want to create the pocket. Then the next thing I did was I went ahead and slid my picture back in there so I could see what I was going to decorate around. And I took my papers, and this can be any kind of papers you want. I've just gone ahead and used the cardstock and a little music note thing that I had to frame this opening here. And I used to try to trim a piece of paper around the opening, and that's just too much trouble. So what I do is use 4 strips of paper. You can even use more than 4 if you want to piece it together, and almost like make it like a patchwork. And so just I ripped mine with my little ripper ruler thing, but you don't have to rip them. You can cut them. And what you'll do is go ahead and lay them out how you want them, and then come back, and you want to have the white edge of the paper of the frame that's on the envelope covered, but you don't want to come in too far, so you still want to see your picture. So what I did was decide where I wanted the piece, put the glue on the envelope up to the edge of the white on the envelope, and then I pressed this down. And I did the same thing. I did this first, this second, this third, and then this one on top on the bottom. And so my card is inside here, and hopefully it'll still slide out. It'll slide out. And so we framed our picture. So then the next step would be to turn this over and carefully just trim off anything that comes over the edges. These with the flip ups will have to have paper on the back too, but we'll do that at the very end. So this one is going to flip up. The card is going to come out this side right here. So it helps to keep the card down in there so that you keep everything oriented the right way whenever you start applying your decorations. So I will go back and trim this off carefully without trimming any of the white on the envelope, because we've already made it into a pocket. And then it's going to be ready to decorate with our ephemera, laces, buttons, whatever we want to use. So I'm going to go off and do that to all of them, and then I'll come back. Okay, I'm back, and I've finished doing the frames around the opening of the envelope that shows our tag inside, and I'll show you each one. This one, if you remember, had the striped blue stripe in the back, so I repeated that on the side, and it picks up the blue in this picture. And then I used some music and some other of the trims just to pick up the colors that are in there, make a nice frame. And I didn't mention before, but if you rip these or cut them, however you want to do it, it's okay for them to hang over the edge just a little, because you don't want the white of your frame showing. And go ahead and ink the edges if you want to ink the inside edges before you put it together. And then after you're done, you're going to turn it over and trim off any edges that are sticking out, and then ink around this edge. The other thing that I did on the card that goes inside, and I haven't inked the edges yet, but I did round the corners. And we're going to put a little tab at the top, either a ribbon or just a lace or ribbon tab at the top for a pull, and do a punch here to have a little tab to be able to get a hold of it and pull it out. So there's the first one. This one, if you remember, we had one that had a double opening with a strip of paper down the center. And so I went ahead, and this one opens on this side. Slides out like this. So we've used complementary papers again, and I saw the word summer on one of the papers, so I tore that off and used it at the top. And then I wanted to do something different down the center, and I had this pretty braided trim that I put down the center here. And again, we're going to come back with lots of embellishments on this. Maybe some lace at the bottom, some of our ephemera, pearls, ribbons, whatever we choose to do. Okay, this one is our pretty lady with the hat, and she's peeking into this frame. This one is one of the ones that flips out this way, so we will end up covering the back with something later on. I used some book page here. Just a point of reference, if you use a book page, be sure that the words that are on there are something that you don't have a problem with on your paper. This is from a garden book that I'm using the pages out of. So I've got the roses down here. This is what is behind her, I believe. Yes, I repeated it on the side and the polka dots at the top. This one with the children playing on the beach. This is a seashell down here in the corner. I just went ahead and used the pinks and the florals, and some music notes. This one opens on this side. Again, we'll put a notch in the side here to be able to pull this out easily. This is our cupcake, and this one had a wide area on this side and a small window, so it looks a little different from the others, and we have lots of room to do something fun down here on the side. And this one opens on this side here with our journal card coming out, and this one flips up, so we will cover the back. So that's as far as I've gotten, and now what I plan to do now is go ahead and add my ephemera and ribbons and things, and then I will come back and show you each one. Okay, I'll see you later. Well, I just finished putting together all of my junk mail window envelopes to decorate the Summer Sunshine Journal that I'm working on. Again, I'm using the Summer Snippets Mini Collection from Shabby Art Boutique. And the last thing that I showed you was just the frame and what we put in the pocket. So now I'm going to be sharing with you how I decorated each of these pockets. This one had the two sections there on the window, so I did put some trim down the center of it. I have used some of the flowers up in the corner, these two corners, the words "Rejoice Always," some of my pretty seam binding ribbon to tie in a bow here. It's glued on. Some pearl trim. This is some of the hand-dyed fabric and lace that my friend did for me in the pink color. It's kind of it's really a peachy pink, and it goes really well with the coloring in this kit. I put my little children there having some watermelon on the grass with some green cheesecloth underneath. And the pocket holds a journal card that slides out. And all I did for a tab was put some paper with some lace over it. I notched out the edge here of this pocket. And again, when I pull this out, you see a pretty design still behind. This one is designed to just glue on a page. And I was gonna pull a page over here and just, let's see. I'll just pull a page out of the journal here so you can see how these will be just glued right down on the page. They're almost too big. I have to, if you wanted to do anything else to them, you'd want to have a larger page. But these are going to look so pretty on our pages that we'll decorate. If I wanted to, I could glue this down so that there was a pocket on both sides or at the top. This one will probably be glued on a left-hand page since the pocket comes out this way. Okay. My next one is the children running, playing. And it pulls back to reveal the peach-colored checkered background. I just punched a hole in the edge of it and tied some lace. This one I decided to have some lace across the top that hung down over the frame and over the top of the outside edge of the frame. Some flowers in the corner and my butterfly. Down here in this corner, I took some blue lace and just cut it in a triangle square to fit on this corner, and some off-white cheesecloth to kind of signify sand and sky, and then put the shells and the seabird. Some more flowers here in the corner tied with a ribbon. And I didn't mention on this one, but I've used stickles throughout again. I don't know if you can see it. I wish you could. It's in the kind of a dot in the centers of the flowers. And I did the same thing on this one and down the center of the butterfly body. This one here is the bicycle with the blue striped in the background. I took the notch out here and punched a hole in the middle there with our ribbon to pull it out with. I took the rest of that triangle and put it up here in the corner with the words "Time to Play." This side has the dark blue striped, and I decided to cover it with some ribbon where you can still see the blue stripe, but it's not quite as vibrant. The lace comes over the edge and over the inside edge of the frame. I used some of the hand-dyed blue ruffled lace at the bottom. And I put some green cheesecloth here just to have layering here with a big piece of watermelon and a little fat bird and a butterfly with glitter on its body and wings. And then some paper flowers from the kit. And this is paper flowers that I came in kind of a bouquet, and I cut it off and mashed it flat. And then I put glitter on the stickles on the edge of the petals. And this little thing, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's just like a little circle dome of acrylic or something, and then it has a pattern in behind. And I bought a whole bunch of those. I thought those would accent our journals really well. So this will fit right on one of these pages. So when we get ready to decorate our journal, we can just glue these right down. The next one is the one that had the this small window, a small vertical window, and on it I used some fabric that had some tatting. This is the hand-dyed stuff, and then I put just a piece of floral paper on it too, just to layer that up. At the bottom here, I scrunched up some lace, and then I put our flowers and the little bird and the words, in the world where you can be anything, be kind. A little piece of green cheesecloth and some of our stick-on dots. Strawberry bouquet up here in the corner, and I've added stickles in the center of the flowers. This one opens on the left-hand side. And it will fit probably on a left-hand page, so it can open, be pulled out. I got some glitter on me, so I must have gotten in some of the stickles before it was dry. Oh well. This one is my favorite, with the beautiful girl framed, and she pulls out and has the pink pattern behind her. I just put a piece of pink fabric at the top for a pull on her. And on this side here, I have used some beautiful tatting and the pink hand-dyed lace and things that my friend sent me. A bouquet of flowers in the top left corner with stickles. The picnic basket. Lace across the bottom, and another piece of tatting right here. I never did learn to tat. That's one of the few things I haven't learned. I tried one time, and every time I got my fingers tangled up in the thread to go, then I had to stop and put it down and then start all over. So I just never did have the patience for that. This is our butterfly with the stickles down its body. And that's where I got into it, because as I could see it smeared. Now this one, it ended up, because I put the lace down the side, it won't fit on those smaller pages. So this I will use on the inside back cover, and this is the one that flips out. So I may make it wrap around to the back, and then it can flip out. I didn't cover the backs of those because I wanted to wait and see what color the picture was. So if you're using these same papers as I am, just be careful that you don't put wide lace down the side, because it won't fit on the page. Isn't she beautiful? So I have these ready, and I'll put these aside, and we'll come back and start on another project. And I think what I'm going to do next is decorate some tags, and then we'll move on, and the cover, and then we'll move on to actually putting the journal together. I didn't mention, but I used my glitter pen on a couple of things. The butterfly that's inside here, and this watermelon that's down in the corner here. It doesn't show up unless you're in person, so I'm not able to really show that to you. But I thought these turned out really nice, and they're fun to do. Like I said, this was one of the first things I ever did that kind of headed me toward the junk journal. One of the ladies that watches my videos said she showed my video to her husband and what I had done with these, and he's supposed to save junk mail envelopes, and that's exactly what I did, and that's why I have a drawer this deep full of them. It's hard to ever throw them away again after you realize you can make something beautiful. So remember, every day's a gift, and look for the joy in every day and share it with everyone you meet along the way. This was a big day for me. I had some bank stuff I had to take care of that really was making me nervous, and I'm so glad that's over with, and I can move on to just having fun now. I'm going to take my mother to lunch tomorrow. She's 95 and doesn't get out much, so we're going to go have lunch at the Cracker Barrel and have, she likes to get their fried chicken, and I'll probably have some breakfast. So I'll get busy on my tags or the cover. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but it will be in the next video, and I'll do that real soon. Thank you for watching, and have a good evening. I'll see you soon.